Writing notes for an exam essay is essential, yet so many students skip over this part of the process or go through it at great speed. Note writing is so fundamental, around 1/3 of your exam period should be spent on the note writing process. That may seem a lot, especially when people around you have already started on their essay, but trust me, essay writing is not a linear process going from the first letter to the final full stop. An essay is a layered document, the foundation of which is the notes you've made. Get the foundation solid and your essay will be quicker and easier to write. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to write perfect notes for an exam essay. Okay, let's take a look at the first type of question. Here is an opinion. To what extent do you agree or disagree with it? Let's choose a real-life example of this question type. Using modern technology to learn English is a much better way than learning in a traditional classroom with books. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this point of view? The very first thing you need to realize is that they are not asking you if you agree or disagree, but to what extent you agree or disagree. This is really useful to remember because by writing about your limit of agreement, you are giving yourself more things to talk about, not just what you agree or disagree with, but also at what point your opinion changes and why. The next thing is to decide whether you broadly support or reject the opinion. Here is where your note writing starts. You need 2 or 3 headline reasons as to why you broadly agree or disagree. These will form a significant part of your introduction paragraph. Let's say, to a great extent, you agree. Take a moment or two to think of at least 2 main reasons as to why someone would broadly agree with that statement. It may be that a third reason doesn't immediately come to you, but that's okay. Spend a few moments trying to come up with one. If nothing comes, start working on developing reasons 1 and 2. Reason 1, convenience. We can learn at any time of the day that is convenient for us. There's no need to travel. You might also have realized a few potential downsides. Being lazy, too easily distracted. How do we know what we are learning is true or false information? Reason 2, a wide range of resources. YouTube, phone apps are obvious ones, but spend a moment or two to come up with a more unusual resource. Human resource. A native speaker living in an English-speaking country. Online newspapers. Podcasts. Perhaps a negative point here is that there are too many resources to choose from. Now you have your essay structure. Think of some words or expressions you can use to express your ideas. Here, for example, overwhelming or intimidating might be good words. Oh, I've just had the idea of podcasts in different accents, like Australian, British, something you would not get from your one teacher in a classroom. Commute could be used here. From the comfort of your own home could be an ideal expression. Maybe here you could use burn the midnight oil. And I've just thought that another aspect of convenience is that we don't have to get dressed. You can learn in your underwear. Or semi-naked, which is a great collocation in English. Don't worry if you don't know these expressions. The point is, you should look through your notes to identify opportunities where you could use the expressions that you do know. The next thing you need to do is identify potential repetitive words, which you need to avoid using, and then find alternatives. Learn may be a word you could be using a lot. An alternative is acquire knowledge. So is be taught. And this is great because it uses the passive voice. To grasp is a great colloquialism. And to master something. Here we could use waiting for a bus. No, queuing for a bus, even better. So now I have the sentence, being taught from the comfort of your own home means you don't need to queue for a bus in the rain, in the pouring rain. So you see how writing notes gives you the opportunity to develop your sentences. Now we go back looking for a third reason. If you can't think of one and you believe you don't have enough material, there are two subtopics you can always rely on: personal experience and alternatives. A personal experience could be an example of a time you learnt online or in a class. Personal experiences need little preparation because the details are already in your head. Personal experiences are a great opportunity to use used to and would to indicate past activities. If you are not sure what the difference between these two expressions is, here is a link to a video that explains the difference. The alternative option could be imagining that there were no schools and everyone had to learn online. This is a great opportunity to use the second or unlikely future conditional. Another alternative would be the internet existing decades earlier, which is a great opportunity to use the third or alternative past conditional. To get a high score, using simple verb forms is not enough. Pick one of your points and decide on a complex sentence structure. And now spend a moment trying to find a sentence that works. Third conditional. If there had been the internet in the 1980s, schools would not have existed after the year 2000. You only need to do this once or twice in your essay to demonstrate a writing skill. The second type of essay question, what are the advantages and disadvantages of these alternatives, follows almost the same process. Let's take a real-life example. Nowadays, people would rather purchase ready-made meals than cook at home. What are the advantages and disadvantages of this trend? First, you need to ask yourself whether you broadly prefer ready-made meals or cooking at home, and then come up with the advantages for the one that you don't support and disadvantages for the one that you do support. You need more time to support the points you are against than you do to think about the points that you agree with. After all, you know why you agree with something and so should be able to support your opinion with less thinking time. The rest of the process follows the same procedure as with the first example. Let's say you prefer to cook at home. Think of a few headline advantages of having ready-made meals and a few headline disadvantages of cooking at home. Detail each headline, add a personal experience or alternative if necessary, identify potential repetitive words and find suitable alternatives. Identify opportunities for colloquialisms, collocations, and complex sentence structures. And then sit back and realize that most of your essay has already been written. And then start writing. The skill of note writing is a very important one to have. If you need to, practice writing notes for an essay until you can write them in a third of your essay time and still have enough remaining time to complete the essay. Hopefully, this video has been helpful to you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.